Shanks and Mihawk are two of the strongest and some of the most influential characters in the series, and yet, probably combined, they probably have less than 50 chapters with them involved. And they still have such great influence, and we know so little about them. It's actually insane. And from the little sample size or the little that they've displayed, not just us as like outside looking in as One Piece fans, but even people in the verse respect their strength. And I can't wait till we see their backstories. I can't wait till we see the two go all out. And hopefully we get to see a flashback of them fighting, because they're both fantastic swordsmen. If you look at the East Blue Saga, you know that Mihawk was strong even in Roger's era. Now, I'm not sure if he was considered the world's strongest swordsman then, because they still had Roger, they still had Rayleigh, and Whitebeard, he's not a swordsman, but he gets like an asterisk because of the weapon that he uses. He was able to compete against Roger, who had Ace. So Mihawk, I would say he probably was on the level, probably around like low top tier. He wasn't up there in the upper echelon, where I'd say maybe even Odin was stronger than him back then. But we know that Shanks became famous for fighting Mihawk. So that means that even after, years after Mihawk trained even more and after Roger's death, in order for Shanks to become a Yonko, well, there's other outside factors with that, but him fighting Mihawk was one of the reasons. And we know that Shanks is new to being a Yonko. He wasn't a Yonko when he first met Luffy during the East Blue Saga, but he became a Yonko, I believe, within the past 6 years. So Shanks, he's shown that what he is able to do with his haki, he's missing an arm, etc. And like I said earlier, I cannot wait to see how their battles went out, because we know that they fought many times, and more likely than not, they ended up coming to draws. From their introductions, the small sample sizes that we got, we first have to look at Shanks and how he saved Luffy, and he used Conqueror's haki in order to scare a Sea King away. And there's Mihawk talking about with Don Krieg and with Red Leg Zeph, they were talking about how there was a man with hawk eyes who destroyed ships on the Grand Line. I think Don Krieg had around like 100 fleet ships, and Hawkeye Mihawk was the one to destroy them single-handedly and forced him out of the Grand Line. And then we have his display against Zoro. Probably, when it comes to One Piece, right, some people thought it was, alright. Some people didn't like it. Some people thought it was kiddish. There was mixed feelings about it. But I'd say universally, once this scene happened, a lot of One Piece fans were like, oh shoot, this is actually a legit series, and it's actually really interesting. Because when you look at Zoro as a character, even though the East Blue is the weakest of seas, he still was famous in the East Blue. Everybody knew him in the East Blue, and even in the Grand Line, right, where Barrack Works tried to recruit him, Zoro was known as a fierce swordsman and a fierce pirate hunter. So somebody, Mihawk, who came with his little blade and was like taunting him, he said, a beast or like a famous beast or something along those lines. A hunter doesn't go all out when he's going after a little rabbit. That's actually insane, and how he was able to dismantle Zoro, who was going all out with the three sword style just with a little butter knife, right? He was treated like a newborn child, and Zoro, he displayed his willpower, his tenacity, and how strong he was. The fact that he was tied up without food for such a long time. He was also wounded, and he was stabbed. Zoro, he even let himself get stabbed in order to for them not to show it as weakness, and he was overpowered. I think it was Cabbage or something like that, Buggy's right hand man. And then there was even this scene where after Zoro was stabbed in the back, when he lifted up Luffy, trying to get him to escape. Like, it's actually insane how much willpower he had, and yet they were so far apart, where even Zoro, he's like, the world's strongest should not and isn't this far away. How are they, like, how is the distance between someone who's at the lowest level in terms of power in the series and somebody on the level of top tiers? How are they this far apart? It was actually insane, where we have Mihawk speak to Zoro, where he's like, yo, I'll be waiting for you at the top, no matter how long it takes. I'll be here to challenge you, and my title of the world's strongest swordsman will be at large. So try and surpass me, Roronoa Zoro. One of the best quote from Mihawk in the series, which in turn has to do with Luffy, because then there was that scene where he turned to him and he's like, what's your goal? And Luffy said he's going to be the king of the pirates, and Mihawk smiles and he's like, well, it's going to take a lot more than just trying to surpass me. And I want people to know that this isn't based off of strength, right? The world's strongest swordsman is not a big of title as the Pirate King. Everybody wants to become the pirate. Well, most pirates aim to become the Pirate King. However, not most pirates aim to become the world's strongest swordsman. It's two different things. But I digress. In terms of strength, it doesn't matter. There's the age-old debate: who's stronger? Is it Mihawk? Is it Shanks? I don't care, right? But you have to do it like this. If you think Shanks is number one, like the strongest in the series basis, if we have a top 10, if you have Shanks number one, Mihawk better be number 2. Or if you have Shanks number 5, Mihawk better be number 6, and vice versa. If Mihawk's number 5, Shanks better be number 6, etc. But I personally think it goes like this. If you like if you like Luffy more as a character, I think you're going to think Shanks is stronger. And if you like Zoro more as a character, you're going to think Mihawk is stronger. And this video isn't really about who's stronger. It's just talking about how Luffy and Zoro, that they are about to surpass each other soon. And me personally, who do I think is stronger? I think it's Mihawk, because portrayal and epithets are everything in One Piece. When you look at Whitebeard, he had the world's strongest epithet around him, where I think that he was the strongest pirate, or the strongest man at his time, especially in his prime. Then there's Kaido. He's the world's strongest creature, and I think that Kaido, the definition of a creature is like any person or animal, so I think Kaido is the world's strongest pirate, or the world's strongest creature, so meaning he's stronger than all the Marines. And so Mihawk has the title of the world's strongest swordsman, meaning he is the strongest user currently alive that wields a sword as their primary weapon. But like I said earlier, there's a lot of people that think Shanks is over Mihawk, and that's fine. Shanks, we know what his bounty is 4 billion plus. We know that he has the title of the Yonko. We know his personality. He has more territory. Shanks has more influence on the world than Mihawk does. But Mihawk isn't a slouch. We yet to know his bounty, and we know that what he displayed fighting Vista, Marineford, etc. At Marineford, Mihawk kind of gets a little bit of hate for this, talking about testing his strength against the world's strongest. He was blocked by Jozu, who can turn himself into a diamond, but Mihawk definitely wasn't going all out in that situation. And we didn't really get to see much application of advanced haki. Like, it was there, but it wasn't really highlighted like it is in Wano. So obviously, the more that the series goes on, the stronger people will face, the more one-on-ones we'll get, and the more application of stronger things like haki and devil fruits will be implemented. So we also saw Shanks at Marineford. Granted, Akainu was weakened, and he definitely isn't as strong as he is now, but we saw Shanks stop Akainu at Marineford. We have our boys Luffy and Zoro. What are their goals? To be the world's strongest, to be the Pirate King. And Shanks is Luffy's motivation, Mihawk is Zoro, so they're going to have surpassed them. Shanks, in the recent chapter, his application of Conquerors was actually insane. He made an admiral ship. Ryokugyu was shooketh by him. And since Mihawk is relative to Shanks, or Shanks relative to Mihawk, both of them, their haki is probably on or around the same level, and they both probably have access to the same amount of haki. So they probably have all three, and they both probably have advanced versions of those. And for Zoro to want to be the world's strongest swordsman, he probably has to unlock all advanced versions. He already has advanced conquerors. We saw it in his fight with King, becoming the King of Hell. I'm not really sure about advanced armament. He may or may not have it. Probably power skills are better than that. And because of Mihawk's eyes, known as Hawkeye Mihawk, we speculate he has good observation. Zoro will probably have to unlock future sight, especially with his future opponents like Shiryu, who could turn invisible. Being able to attack him, you have to have good observation haki. So more likely than not, like I said, Zoro will have future sight. And then there's Luffy. Luffy already has all three versions of haki, already has 3 versions advanced, but he still has to get better with control of that, and he still has to get better with the control of Gear 5th. In terms of who Luffy has to surpass, he definitely has to surpass Roger, Whitebeard, I'd say Blackbeard, and Akainu in terms of strength. And then Zoro, for him to want to surpass Swordsman, he has to surpass Prime, Rayleigh, Shanks, Odin, and Mihawk. But just looking at how the boys did on Onigashima, Luffy and Zoro went crazy. They both unlocked a new level, especially with Advanced Conquerors. And seeing that, Shanks display his Conquerors, seeing Shanks get involved in their story, it just made me realize how soon One Piece is ending and how soon that we're going to have to face Mihawk and Shanks in the future, and that Zoro and Luffy are coming very close to surpassing them. But let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about Shanks and Mihawk in terms of power. In terms of Luffy and Zoro, how far off do you guys think they are from them? Let me know in the comment section below. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok is on the screen in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.